7 facial features that can say a lot about you. Research continues to show that our appearance can say a lot about our personality and lifestyle. But what exactly do your facial features say about you? Just stay tuned to find out. And while you're watching, how about a little game? Among all the faces you're about to see, we've hidden 3 images of famous criminals. Can you find them all? Keep an eye out. Number 7. Facial structure. Psychologist and neuroscientist Dr. Keith Welker studied the facial structure of around 1,000 World Cup soccer players and found that a player's facial width to height ratio was closely connected to the number of goals he scored. This ratio is the distance between the cheekbones, width, divided by the distance between the brow bone and upper lip, height. A low score is from 1.5 to 1.7. Average is 1.7 to 1.85, and a high score is around 1.85 to 2.0. According to the research, the higher the number, the more competent a person is. In other words, the visually wider your face, the higher your chances of being successful are. Of course, this is all purely based on averages, and it really depends on the individual. So find your facial to height ratio and see where you stand. Number 6. Broad cheekbones. Speaking of wide faces, this point might shock you, especially after that last example. British scientists have found that men with higher levels of testosterone have wider faces with broad cheekbones. This hormone is connected to a high level of aggression, rebellious tendencies, and a desire for power, which might explain why a lot of big CEOs have wider faces. Even more interestingly, women can instinctually sense all of this. Hollywood takes full advantage of this subconscious perception. Directors like to choose men with such looks to play villains, rebels, and womanizers. Just think about it, and lots of examples will come to your mind. Number 5. Wrinkles. Having wrinkles doesn't just give away your age, it can also say a lot about your personality. How? You see, there are certain muscles that work every time you smile, cry, frown, or raise your eyebrows. After some time, they get used to particular emotions and draw them on your face, making them visible even when your face is resting. Crow's feet and smile lines say you're a true optimist who's pretty emotional, but also just loves to laugh and have a good time. A crease on your forehead between your eyebrows suggests a completely different story. You're a serious person who's had to overcome real struggles and difficulties over time. See, your wrinkles tell the story of your life. Number 4. Your good side. A lot of us like our picture taken from a certain angle, thinking it's our best one. However, scientists at the University of South Australia have found that it's not so simple. It turns out that engineers, mathematicians, and chemists usually pose with their right side to the camera, while art critics and psychologists prefer their left side. So basically, it's the right side for people who like exact scientists, and the left one for those who lean towards the humanities. By the way, there's a slight differentiation between the genders as well. Women tend to turn to the camera with their left side. Researchers believe that this is because the left part of our face is controlled by the right hemisphere of our brain, which is responsible for our emotions. That's why it seems way more attractive. Number 3. Selfies. In 2015, a group of scientists analyzed 123 selfies taken from Sina Weibo, a Chinese microblogging site sort of like Twitter. The researchers found a fascinating connection between types of selfies and people's personalities. People who are friendlier and more open to new experiences tend to use the bottom-up approach when taking selfies. They usually show their emotions more and aren't afraid to look funny or ridiculous. Selfie takers with the infamous duck face and high angle tend to be neurotic. However, students couldn't figure out all of an individual's personality traits correctly only based on a photo. That's simply because almost everybody tries to look better in their pictures, which complicates the process of finding out who they truly are. Still, you can easily tell someone's general vibe based on their profile pictures. Number 2. Nose. A study published at the Journal of Craniofacial Surgery came to some very surprising results. Researchers analyzed 1,700 pictures with 14 types of noses and linked all of them to different personality types. They found out that the bigger a person's nose, the more ambitious they are. These people are perfectionists and they always finish what they start. Scientists even analyzed the tip of the nose. Weird, but still pretty cool, right? So if the tip of your nose is a little big and fleshy, you'd make a great investor and financier. And on the flip side, people with small pointed noses don't really care that much about money. Number 1. The Dorian Gray Effect. Have you ever noticed how identical twins start to look less and less alike as they get older? You can have the best genes ever, but the lifestyle you lead will still affect your appearance. It's like all of your bad habits are slowly being imprinted right on your face. This lets everybody around you figure out what kind of lifestyle you've had and what they can expect from you. For example, you can always spot a heavy drinker or an out-of-control drug addict, right? That's what we're talking about here. So if you take care of yourself and your body, you'll look good at any age. We've seen tons of examples of how a person's face can say a lot about their personality and lifestyle, but appearance can also easily trick you. Alexander Todorov, a professor of psychology at Princeton University, is sure that we instantaneously form an impression of a person standing in front of us purely based on their looks. This gives rise to the halo effect, when beautiful people seem way friendlier than they really are. Todorov also conducted an experiment in which he asked students to judge the appearance of different composite images. Those with a round face and big eyes were seen as naive, genuine, and kind. Asymmetric, serious, and less attractive faces were associated with antisocial and bad behavior. With all that in mind, did you manage to find the 3 criminals hidden throughout the video? Here they are. The first man is Ted Bundy, an American serial killer and rapist. The woman is Rosemary West, a British serial killer. And finally, this stud right here is Jeremy Mix, an American convicted felon who was even dubbed the most beautiful criminal in the world. They don't look that violent, do they? Just one more reason you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. What do you think about this topic? Do facial features really play a role in forming personality traits? And did you recognize any of the criminals? Tell us in the comments section below. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. They might learn more about themselves too. Stay with us on the bright side of life, and we'll see you soon.